Hey guys, it's Otti again. I'm here at the Dark Skies of Witten, as every year, besides Bob from the band NFD. Hi, Frontmann. Hi.
Good to be here, mate.
NFD, you're playing here tonight. You're the headliner of tonight. We can talk about this. But first of all, to people who might not know you, how would you describe NFD to a stranger at a bar, for example?
Gothic rock for the modern age, but with a sort of classic emphasis, I guess. You know, it's quite in your face, catchy, lots of old roots of the 80s goth rock, but bringing in some elements of some dance elements, even industrial elements. But we like to keep things catchy, and you know, that's a really melody and catchiness and proper songwriting is at the core of what we do, you know? We like to, I think you can't beat a good song.
Yeah,
You know? So, and we put a lot of effort in, and we try and be as professional as we can about everything we do, put a lot of practice and rehearsal in, and we take great care with our artwork and the whole NFD concept, and try and make a big effort all around. You know, I think it's worth putting 100% in, you know?
Yeah, and this professionality brought in, for example, here to be a headliner. It's not totally normal.
You know, I mean, we like to put on a good show. We like to do things properly, and the people like that, I'm not, it's up to them, isn't it? It's not up to us, but we hold ourselves to some standards, you know.
Yeah. And can you maybe tell me, how did this start? When and how to found NFD?
NFD has been going, you could say from about 2000, or you could say it started in 2002 or 2003. It was sort of a bit of a foggy area to start with, because we came out of Tony was doing Fields of the Nephilim back at the start, and me and Simon have been doing a band called Sensorium with Paul Miles and the Nephilim, and then me and Simon put together NFD, and that sort of was just really, we were working at home, not doing any gigs, and then we spent a couple of years on it, and then Tony came along and joined us back then. So that's kind of when it formed, and it was just 2 or 3 like minds just wanting to do something good, you know, get on and do some music, play some shows, write some songs.
And then things developed. So
Yeah.
from this beginning, what have been the important turning points?
Well, so once we'd sort of been writing a few songs, we talked to Jungle Records, which Tony had been on, and they said they wanted to sign us up. So at that point, we hadn't actually played a gig. We didn't have a full band with 3 people and a few songs. So then we started, me, Simon and Tony started writing some songs, put a full album together. And then when we got our first release together, we thought we'd better do a show. So then we got a couple of additional live members, one of which was Chris, who's actually now the longest serving member outside of me. You know?
No. And we're here at the Dark Skies of Witten in Germany.
Yeah.
We're from Britain. Which part?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Where?
I'm from England, but I've been, for most of my music sort of life, I've been based in London.
Ah, great. And did you know the festival before?
Through Lars. Through Lars. So Lars had made us aware of it and said it was very cool. And I think he's friends with everybody here, so he lives quite locally. He's in Bochum, so he made us aware of it. But it's very cool. I'm very, very excited to come here, you know.
And did you play in Germany before?
No, we haven't played for 13 or 14 years.
Oh.
But between the start of the band, when we started gigging, probably about 2004, we played quite a lot in Germany. We did Mirror Luna and Gothic Wave Treffin and Zillow Festival, did all the years ago, and did loads of gigs all over the place.
Cool. But this maybe explains, I think this is your only gig so far this year?
This is our only gig, yeah. We were due to do another gig, and we were to pull away from that one, so this will probably be our only gig this year. But we're not in a mad rush. Our main focus for this year is to get a new album out, so which is taking some time. So,
and I think new album is a good topic. I think this is why I have my paper. Your current single is What Endurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So let's start with this. What is it all about? What is the idea behind this song?
That is very specifically about a sort of undying love beyond everything. Nothing else matters apart from this one passion in your life, this person. And it's beyond time and the universe, and you will make it happen, even if the whole world burns to the ground, you know what I mean, in the process. So, you know, that's what you do. So it's love, something that was spawned maybe, and you've been not been able to be together, but it's just a core in your heart that can never go away. It's a stone. It's not dust in the wind. It's just got to be.
But without getting too personal, but do we have some person like this?
You might think so. I don't know. The feelings and understanding like this have to be born of experience, don't they? And every NFD song, all right, the lyrics, there's no point singing about stuff you don't understand, right? Otherwise, that'll just be soulless. So I write about lots of love and my passions and things I feel strongly about, yeah? Then you can put your heart and soul into them. And then, you know, so every time you get on stage, you're not always in the same frame of mind. It's not like a switch you turn on, right? I'm getting on stage, I'm in the zone. But if you write things you believe in and that are deep within you, when you then get out there and start to sing, it triggers all the memories through your body and your mind, and you sort of jump into the moment of the song, right? Right? And if you're writing about things you don't understand, then that can't happen, get it? So I'll stick to what I know.
And before we come to the upcoming album, then maybe do we have one or two other songs where you say, okay, when I go on stage and perform them, these are really, really touching yourself?
There's one tonight from our first album called Stronger. And we didn't play that for years and years, and then we brought that back into the set the last year or so, and we were rehearsing it last night and the night before. I had to be careful. I was getting so into it. I was feeling it deeply, but I was also singing quite hard, and I thought, oh my God, you can hear I'm a bit croaky. I was like, I thought I better calm down, you know? So that's Stronger, really. And back in the day, we had some fans that would come along, couples, and they'd say that was their song, you know? They really loved it. But now it's often I write things that mean even more to me, like 10 years later, and all of a sudden I have even more connection with them, you know, and I love them. So, and this is one, you know.
Really. Do you have songs that you have no connection to anymore?
No, I wouldn't say that's true, but there's certainly songs that I connect with more at a certain time than others, you know. Yeah,
so probably this is also something how you develop your set for a night. Which songs you now connect more to than others?
Well, so what we've done, we put a mix of new stuff in, and we've got some classic old songs out. But this is one of the things I really look forward to now in this sort of stage of NFD, is we finally got to the point where we've got more. You used to play a set, and there'd be 2 or 3 songs that would just work no matter what the day was, whether you had good sound or not good sound, or you're in the mood or you're not in the mood. You'd always have songs that just go, right? And now we've got so many songs, we're spoiled for choice, and we've got so many great new songs off the new album that we literally could do a 2-hour set and have all songs we wanted to do, you know? Not that we're doing that tonight, but yeah, so it's a mix. But if you play just new songs, well, you go and see. If I go and see a band I love, I don't want to not hear the classic old songs. Of course, you've got to cover it, haven't you? You've got to think of what the audience wants and what you would want going to see your favourite band. You don't just want a new album, do you? So we've mixed it up a bit across our history.
Yeah, but I think this is what people in audience like. They want to have something new, but also have some classics they know, can connect with, can sing along already.
Yeah. We've all been to gigs and they didn't play that song. Why didn't we play that song?
Yeah, this always. My song wasn't played. Damn it.
Absolutely. I went and saw Skinny Puppy in LA recently, their last gig. And I thought, if they don't play Assimilate, it doesn't matter the rest of the show. I'm going to be sulking all night, you know? And it was the last song, one of the last songs they played, and was
I've seen Killing Joke without Love Like Blood. It was really hard. Yeah, you expected that this one has to be played, but I think it was a festival and there was some time issues. Probably it would have been the last song and then it would be space.
But this isn't a complicated thing. Everybody's the same about this. And so, as a band, there's some things you have to pay attention to, isn't it? You just, it's common sense, isn't it? Hopefully.
Should be, yes.
Well, common sense should be common sense, right? Yeah, so.
But as we talk about the new album, so at which point are you now?
So everything's recorded, everything's mixed, and we've been into mastering once. We've got our manager Ed over here, will be looking at me going. And yes, it's been mastered, but there's just a few things I'm not happy with. So I've got up, we spoke to the master engineer, and I'm going to remix a couple of guitars that have got lost. We've just used a new producer and engineer called Ollie Kenny. He's a friend of mine, and I met him through another friend of mine, Casey Chaos, who did a band called Amen. And he's taken over a lot of the things that I used to do, and it's brought a lot of cool new things to the sound. But there's always a few elements that I can't compromise on. And I try to be as easygoing as possible. So I've just got to tweak those things and then just run them through the mastering again. So it's going to make me be careful of this. We're going to get it out this year, is what I'm definitely going to say. When this year, I don't know, but it'll be out this year.
We'll have a look on it and
Yeah.
see when it comes.
And there's 3 tracks out there off it on the internet at the moment already. So
As singles.
yeah. So there's 13 tracks on there altogether, plus another 3 tracks that we will release it in some way. So I think that's, what's that, 13, 16 tracks altogether.
That's a lot, yeah.
Decent. We've got a lot of tracks.
I think we can't discuss the whole album, but maybe can you tell me 2 or 3 core topics that inspired you? Besides
One, we've had that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in there. Let me think. There's a song at the end called Ascent of the Fallen, and that's along the same lines, but that's sort of imagine you and your meant to be partner have reached the end of the world, the end, and you can't stay on this earth anymore, and you're passing the gates. So if the gates to the next life are there, you're on this side and they're on that side, and it should have worked out, but it couldn't work out, and you've left it too late, and you're sort of looking at each other, but there's nothing you can do, So that's that. I like a bit of that.
So some sad gothic stuff.
Yeah, please, we got stuff people can get involved in. What else is on? There's a song called "Your Words Are Not Enough." So that's more very straightforward. It's just sort of saying, all this talk. I love you. There's all this talk, but I need something real, not fantasy. Is the basic core of that song, Will it ever come to be, But if it's going to, I need something real,
Looking forward to the album.
It's kick-ass. It is kick-ass album. I'm very proud of it.
Right. And besides the album, what else are the plans for this year? Do you have some?
That relating to NFD, that is our major goal. Yeah, and then we'll wait and see what happens next year for festivals and stuff. And we've just been talking since last night. Soon it'll come up for like 25 years of NFD. There's a bit of a blurry line. So we're going to try, I'm not going to say more, that we're going to try and do something special for that, Like probably a gig in London if we can, to commemorate that.
And maybe can you tell me something about the band that's here with you tonight, playing here and performing here?
Yeah, we've got a great team of people here with our the current lineup of NFD. That I haven't been as happy with the lineup of NFD in years. It's a great team of people. We've got Chris Milden, who's been with me from nearly the start of the band, way back from the Tony and Simon days. He was in very early. And then Luca on drums. So when Simon eventually left, we got Luca Mazzaconi, who came in on drums, and he's an Italian powerhouse. He's a bit of the joker of the band, a bit of a comedy guy, but he's he sort of learned over a few years, learned the way of NFD, and he's an absolute powerhouse. And I work with him, and we're recording the songs. I work with him in the studio as well. He's just an amazing artist on the hi-hats and things. It's just really great. We've got Lars from the local area on bass, and he's been brilliant. He's come in and taken over from Tony Petty, and he's done a great job. We've got our violinist, Rebecca, who has added a new dimension to the band. So I was working with her on a sort of a side project idea of mine, and then I thought, let's try it on NFD, and it has been a game changer for us. It's really brought another dimension, and it evened out a bunch of rabid boys and added some class to it. Yeah, she's brought something special to it, and because I used to just put strings and stuff on the backing, so it's added that real nice edge. And then Christian has just come in on lead guitar duties for the last few gigs, and he's an absolute master. I write some quite complicated bits of guitar, some simple bits, most of the complicated bits, and he's killing it. It's great. And the whole team together with Rob out front and Ed managing is really driving NFD forward.
This sounds really fun. And I think in the backstage we have fun together as well with these big...
We're growing up and we're chilling a bit at the moment. We're chilling. So it's a bit calmer than it used to be. It used to be chaos backstage and madhouse. But yeah, everybody gets on. We're a good bunch. It's fairly chilled. And but it's a good bunch, and I enjoy it having it's made it... The motivations between the band now and 20 years ago are vastly different. It was a crazy rock and roll roller coaster 20 years ago, and now we just want to do good shows and do good performance and write good songs and that. And they're a great team of solid people. You know, feel lucky to have them behind what I've sort of put together. You know,
Yeah.
very lucky.
And I'm really looking forward to see this lineup on stage tonight. Really cool.
It'll be very different, I guess, in some ways to what we had back in 2004 and 5 and that. But, you know, it's still actually 100% got the spirit of NFD all the way through. I won't compromise on that, you know? Yeah.
And I know you know Donna, Mike, and Alex from Corrosion Fest and Better in the Attic. They're here as well. Maybe we can put in some special greetings to them. I know they watch all my
Hello. She's from Germany.
You have played for
one of the policies we've had actually is not to overplay. We're just keeping it very calm and collected, right? And that can be sometimes the goth scene and the alternative scene can be quite fragile. And as soon as people feel that they can come another time and see you with people that not got much money spent, they have to be careful of things, you know what I mean? So I think it's better to do event stuff until there's enough of a following there to sort of maintain more gigs, you know? So just once in a while. So anyway.
I think people, for example, go more to concerts now of bands or artists they think might quit soon. That might be too old, might die, might something. Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
Well, with the dying bit, I don't know. But I mean, how many bands have had their like 20 final ever tour? You know, I thought last time was your last ever tour. You know, so I don't. You know, there's loads of bands, tons of bands I wish I'd seen that I haven't seen. I've been terrible at seeing bands I wanted to see. So I think for me, just making something an event is the way to go, you know. Hopefully we'd love to get back onto Mirror Luna and Coffee Bay Traffic and stuff like that in time, but we're not going to go running around chasing it. We're just sort of ticking our boxes as they sort of happen to us, you know. We're not anything sort of desperate. What happens, you know.
So this night will be special because maybe a long time till I see you again.
Well, tonight is special because we're back in Germany. It's important. Germany has been a very important part of our history, from fans and support right from the beginning, and we treasure that, whoever it is over the world. You know what I mean? It's special. So to come back here tonight is really,
and you know, maybe this is before we could Can you tell me what do you like most about Germany and playing in Germany? About the country and about the factors playing.
The fans, well, the first time we played in Germany, I think was about in Leipzig, but not the festival at the Anchor. And that was a bit of a shock to me because as it was cliche with German fans, where we sort of making all this noise and we stopped. And there was this one. And it was all very strange for me. But we've been treated so well over the years. And we've been quite raucous at times and quite a handful, especially in our past. And we've always been treated well and welcomed and loved and looked after. And, I've just enjoyed being in the different seasons, exploring it, and the whole thing's, it's just been a good experience. And we've had a lot of support from the magazines, Song Producer and Raucous and everything over the years. It's been really cool, And it's anywhere that sort of keeps, the goth scene. I don't know how you would bracket it. There's so many factions of it now, and it's changing, and there's new generations making it their own and stuff. But I think any country, any scene that's supporting this is great. It should be invested and supported. And Germany's been a huge part of that ever since I got into the scene, all the way from the sort of 80s onwards, So I respect that, and it's good to come here and be embraced by the audiences out here, and for them to want us to come here, in the first place. That's the huge thing, right?
Yeah.
To get the invite in the first place is, thank you.
And I think Carsten and Renate and the team did good to invite you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to your show. Before we could do, we have some free message, some greetings to our audience.
Well, hello, and I hope you've enjoyed this interview. Thanks for having us on here. And please do go and check the new songs out and visit our social media on our YouTube. And we'll have some new videos, song videos coming out this next year. So just your support, we would appreciate greatly.
Yeah. Thank you for the great talk. People outside, thanks for watching. NFD, Bob, great band, great guy. Great frog on the explode.
You're trying to sing like me now.
Yeah. But check them out, really. And I say bye-bye. Cheers.
Cheers.